Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Good Night, Everybody, where we have no guests. This is one of our special. These tend to go very well, actually. In retrospect, I enjoy our no guest episodes. Just myself and sidekick Steven, who at the top of whose head you can see bobbing up and down for pizza as if it were a haunted carnival, and he was going at that apple bucket. Steven, how are you, my friend?
Well, if I'm being honest, quite
You
poor.
feel like garbage, don't you?
I do. I feel so. I
You got the
I did.
papal
I went.
curse because of what you said.
I went. I was on Rick Barrett's show
Whoever
earlier.
that is. Rick
You
Barrett
know
is
Rick.
a Catholic commentator. He and I used to work together at a radio network. He's a lovely gentleman. He does a show called the Rickcast. Shout out Rickcast, talking exclusively about I believe politics and cultural, mostly politics and gun talk and things like that. Does a great job. He's a well practiced veteran of the cultural commentary news field. So anyway, yes, you were on his show previous to this today. You're a kind
Yes.
gentleman. You're not feeling well. You're doing 2 shows for the price of 3.
Yeah. I mean, I don't charge per show, so yes. If I charged per show, then I wouldn't be on this one.
But you did say to me though, like I'm gonna take it out of his ass in regards to Rick. So I don't know what that
No.
means, but
Did not say that. No. Well, tonight we are eating Chicago deep dish pizza in honor of the new Pope being from Chicago.
yes.
Now we were hoping for Pope Pizzaballa, Cardinal
Yes.
Pizzaballa to become Pope, because then we were still going to have pizza, but it wouldn't have been Chicago pizza. But then,
Well, here's a hot take. Pizza, it's my contention. Pizza should not come in the shape of a ball or be overly doughy. But I'm told now that saying so is now an excommunicable offense. Excommunicable means you can be kicked out of the church for it. For our layperson viewers, for our secular viewers, you can be kicked out of the church if you don't like deep dish pizza. Well, I will keep my opinion on what they call pizza in Chicago to myself.
Right. Well, so as we
I'm
know,
from Long Island, where pizza comes from. I think the origin of pizza is Long Island.
well, as we know, Chicago deep dish pizza is really a delicious bread covered in cheese, but
No.
it's not a pizza.
No,
It's a pizza has a thin crust, and
well,
is
you know
floppy.
that, and I know that.
The world knows that. Everyone else is trying to fool themselves.
You know what it is, and this is not a race thing, but the blacks like doughy fried dough, and there's a lot of them down there in the Chicago.
Well,
So I think what you have is the mixing of the two worlds, and as a concession to the these peoples who are historically oppressed, the Italians of the area said, "Hey, we give you more dough, the pizza here you like," and there you go. People
Well-
say that Italians are. Someone was saying Italians are not white, but that's Sicilians, which is different. The Sicilians come from a mixed ancestry because they were conquered by the Moors, and they're also very far south. They almost overlap with the dark continent, as it's called. I didn't make that up, by the way. This is a historical term for Africa. I don't know why.
Well, so pizzeria. So the pizza. There's okay. So you had 2 Italians who moved to Chicago and wanted to make a pizzeria, and
Okay.
they started Pizzeria Uno. But they didn't want to serve just traditional pizza. They wanted to make it its own Chicago
means
spin.
Pizzeria One. Pizzeria
Yes. Pizzeria Uno, and then there was also a Pizzeria Duo in there, and then they started to change. It's called Pizzeria Uno, but anyway, so they
You know.
started it. There's a whole. I was obsessed with this TV show called American Eats. It was on the
This is
History
familiar.
Channel. Yeah, it was on the History Channel. They had a big special which was American Eats History on a Bun, which they talked about the history of like hamburgers.
Oh,
right, and
okay.
food,
I've seen
and
this show. Sure.
Right,
Mhm.
but then they had a whole season of American Eats, which was different foods, and one of them was pizza. So they talk about the history of pizza, and watching the history of pizza is what inspired me to want to open my own pizzeria. I never did.
Oh, what you've done? You have not
No.
done this. Oh no.
I haven't. So what
But
happened
listen,
was,
you have access to the dairy,
I
to
could.
the wheat, to the wheat, right?
Wheat.
The
Yes.
wheat,
Yes, the wheat.
and You're Italian, so you tell me.
I am. So that's why I wanted to open up a pizzeria. So I went, so there's this place called the Scottsdale Culinary Institute, which is a Le Cordon Bleu, like culinary school.
The Le
And
Cordon Bleu of the Midwest.
right. And so they, I went there because I wanted to get a culinary degree so that I could open
Oh,
up
so
my
you
own
were
pizza shop.
serious about this.
Yes. And then
They do not
then they
teach
told,
pizza, and what you need to do is go to Arthur Avenue in the Bronx, and that's where you'll learn pizza. For goodness
well,
sakes.
but I wanted to get a culinary degree so that I could start up a restaurant. So I had this whole concept, like it was all fleshed out of what I wanted to do. And then I went to them and they said that like that that I could only get, because it was a for-profit college, I could only get financial aid up
Mhm.
to a certain amount, and then I'd have to pay like $8,000 out of pocket.
Oh
Um,
goodness.
and so yeah, I had to. And hi, best bud, Catholic Pipe Co. Caleb. Anyway, so I
Ooh.
had they said I had to pay like this $8,000, and I laughed. I literally laughed when I was
Well, I would have
standing there.
too. I don't blame you.
Like I'm not paying that much money for this. I mean, I'll just continue my regular day job. And the lady looked at me. She's like, "What about your dream of opening a pizzeria?" Like it wasn't that big of a dream. I'm okay. And I walked out and I never looked back. But no,
I
so
don't think that Papa John has any formal schooling whatsoever. And look at that
no.
guy.
So I wanted, but
The
yeah, I did.
Stickett is Scottsdale Culinary Institute.
They are gone now. They were one of
Well,
those
that's what they
schools.
get, isn't it?
They were
See
one
what
of those
happens?
schools that was found to be like they were doing that whole thing where they're targeting veterans so they could take GI money and everything. It was a big scandal.
Oh, it's terrible. You should have done what Felicity Huffman did. Bribe them a little bit under the table.
Mm. Instead, I just stuck with my regular job and I did not open a pizza joint. But
Wow.
I had this like it was a ridiculously complicated thing where it's like there's a whole story about how in the future pizzas took over the world, and so you had to eat as many pizzas as you could to try to get rid of
Wait,
the
what is
future
this?
alien. Yeah, it was my concept for a restaurant. It was ridiculous.
Oh, it
I
wasn't
was
going to be one of those pervert like Pizzagate type things. Was it?
no, it was the idea of it
'Cause
was
they
that
got big backstories too, with their whole like
no,
Satanist
none of
conferences
that.
in the basement.
It was Attack of the Pizzoids was the idea, and it was
Man, that
like a
sounds a little
theme
too
restaurant.
close to what they were getting up to.
It was this idea that pizza takes over the world, and so like your server is a general who is sent back who wants you to eat as much pizza as you can to deplete the forces, the soldiers of the future. I'm not saying it was brilliant. I'm saying that was the idea that I had. Anyway,
This
so
is
I
Attack
watched
of the
this.
Killer Tomatoes.
Right. So I watched this. I watched the whole thing about the history of pizza, and so Pizzeria Uno, which started Chicago Deep Dish, was just a couple of New Yorkers who moved to Chicago and wanted to make a pizza that was unique to Chicago, and so they decided to just like make a actual like pie tin, right, and then fill it
Mhm.
with toppings instead of like a traditional pizza. That's
But what other foods is Chicago famous for? I know they have other things.
hot dogs.
Why didn't they just make hot dog topped regular pizza?
I don't know. I think that I don't know if Chicago hot dogs happened before Chicago pizza or
What about
after.
chicken wings? They must like chicken wings down there.
I mean, I'm sure
Up
they
there.
do. Everyone likes chicken wings, but I think that was more
I
of a
don't know. We
southern.
talked about this with oh no, we didn't. It's the show that we lost. But we did talk about it. We talked about chicken wings, and I don't like them.
You don't like chicken wings?
It's not worth it. It's not worth it for the what you get.
They get the
Too much
drumlets.
work.
If you don't get the flats, they're fine. Like the flats are your problem. The flats are the ones that you have to like figure out how to open to get to the meat. But the drumlets are just like little drumsticks. You just,
But I don't love all the dark meat because I'm a Caucasian person.
right, but wings aren't dark
I
meat.
like the dry. Yeah, they are.
No, they're not. Wings are white
Everything
meat.
but the breast, I think.
No, it's the wings and the
Is
breast
dark
are
meat.
white meat, and then the legs and the thighs are dark meat.
Is that right?
It is right.
Oh, I thought the wings were dark meat. Well, I mean, I'll have to
No,
try them again. I'll give them another try.
give them a try.
Ew. Although they usually come with gunk. Can you get them without the gunk?
I mean, I make my own at home, and that's
Oh, yeah,
one of
my
the
wife can
my
do that.
wife's
Yeah.
my wife is saying that she's been craving them, so I'm gonna make some probably this week or in 2 weeks when I get back from
Except she
my
wants
trip.
to top it with hummus and chocolate syrup.
I don't think hummus and chocolate syrup. She probably wants to do like a honey hot, like some like sweet hot thing, but that's just gonna
But the
make her
women with
acid.
the pregnant women, they want all the kinds of crazy stuff.
She like when she gets pregnant, she'd like spicy. Sometimes it
All my
depends.
wife wanted was baked potatoes. It was very boring.
But like with bacon and cream cheese.
Just no, just like butter and salt on them. Just baked potatoes.
You know, my,
Sometimes with a little bit of the sour cream, bacon, but nothing like I thought I was headed for,
pickles and ice
pistachio ice
cream.
cream with Sauvignon Blanc stirred into it and topped with a German sausage. I don't know. But no, just baked potatoes. Okay, that's it. Baked potato. I can bake a potato.
My wife really likes these days she's been drinking
She's been drinking, but she's pregnant.
drinking like the beef or chicken broth with ginger and turmeric.
Bone broth or just
bone broth.
Chicken?
Bone broth.
Oh, I always drink bone broth. It's the best.
Bone broth with ginger and turmeric and a slice of sourdough toast. That has been because she's been. I mean, it's been difficult because like the progesterone that she's getting and like she's taking progesterone and the baby's also producing progesterone, but all of it makes her really like yesterday she was so sick. If
so
she was a sick
lifting weights, taking the
oh yeah, no
progesterone.
It's not okay. If she were as sick today as she was yesterday, I would not be here right now because she was like laying down on the couch upstairs, just like I can't move. I'm so sick.
Oh,
she was hugging a pot. It was bad. Yesterday was bad.
Maybe she
but
had
all that it shows us is that the baby is growing and causing problems, but that it's good.
Well, Steven, those are two things that a baby is supposed to do. So
grow and cause problems.
Doing well. Yeah. Now, I will have you notice that contrary to the traditional talk show format, where these hosts are riddled with hubris, my seat is actually lower than yours.
I don't think it's lower. I think your camera's just higher.
We're blazing new ground here in humility. I'm a humble host. I'm the most humble host that has ever been on talk shows.
I
You
don't know.
cannot find a more humble. I dare you to try. You will not find a host nearly as humble as I am, and I challenge you to look for one. Anyway,
I'll just say that
can't
I
do that.
feel
Now
a
you're
little
just-
bit more.
You've turned yourself into a Webster now.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I feel a little more humble.
You remember that show Webster?
You remember the show Webster way better than anyone else.
Oh man, it traumatized me.
Yeah, because of
We talked about this.
because the lady,
The dead
living
lady
upstairs.
in the attic.
Yeah,
A lot of those shows with the little black fellows were traumatizing. The other one had two of them, so it was double the trauma. And they got locked in a trunk by a pervert magician on one of them. There was a creepy bicycle store owner that tried to lock little Willard, what's his name, in the apartment on another one. And then the white sister got on the drugs at another point. Shows that people think that like the 80s or whatever was all innocent. All these sitcoms, first of all the mothers were dead, right? I'm not making that up.
Mm-hmm.
There was drugs and abuse and
well, you know why they were dead, right?
Huh?
You know why the moms were dead, right?
They sacrificing the kind of cult, probably.
No,
they had 3 gays on Full House.
The point of the mother being dead was that they wanted to have
This was
the
the
fathers.
80s.
The fathers needed to date, right? Because that's a whole like they're trying to so in the 80s and 90s they try to create like these 2-tiered TV shows where you would have like an adult sitcom and a children's sitcom kind of meshed together. Think like Boy Meets World, how there'd be like the A plot with the kids and the B plot with the parents, right?
Well, all the shows had that.
Right, but so for some of them, there's like the father should like in a regular sitcom needs to be dating a different woman every week.
There
And
was
so you can't
nothing
do that
more
with the mother.
popular. I will counter this. There was nothing more popular than Happy Days,
Yeah.
and they were married like crazy on that show.
Yes, they
It
were.
was,
And that
it was
was
the kids that were running around.
right. But I'm saying that
And
was
you know what?
teenagers.
Out of all irony of ironies, it was Family Matters with the black family, who also didn't do that. Had the father in the home and a policeman. There
Yeah.
was not also a policeman in the home. Maybe there should have been. The
Father
father
was
was
a
a policeman. Yeah.
That's a good
Carl
show.
Winslow was his name.
Yes, and he only ever played police officers.
No.
At least the famous roles he had were police
The
officers.
famous roles, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he played some non-police. Nobody knows any of the
He
other
played
roles. They know
someone else.
he was in Die Hard as a police officer, Die Hard
Mhm.
2, I believe, as a police officer,
Yes.
and then Family Matters as a police officer. So I'm pretty sure all of his roles were police officers.
His most famous ones. I couldn't name anything else he did. So he may have done something else. He may have been Dromio on
Reginald Vell
Broadway for all I
Johnson.
know. Huh?
Reginald Vell Johnson. Hey, he's still alive. I thought he died.
That's racist.
Apparently, he's known for playing police officers. That's the first thing in his saying. He was a police officer in
Yeah.
Ghostbusters, municipal corrections officer.
Ghostbusters?
He was a police officer in Crocodile Dundee.
No.
No,
And
he was
Ghostbusters?
he was a limo driver. In Ghostbusters, he was a municipal corrections officer.
That's close enough. That counts.
And he was a detective in Turner and Hooch.
Hmm.
And he played Sergeant Al Paolo in Die Hard, and then in Die
Mhm.
Hard 2. And he apparently in the Die Hard Vendetta game, he played the same detective or Sergeant
And
Al.
starred in Call of Duty Black Ops, the video game.
Did he?
Let's look it up.
Anyway.
Call of Duty Black Ops. Xbox.
I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, you can Google it. It'll come up.
Well, in any case,
Hmm.
he is
Interesting.
He's known for playing a.
Sadly, has passed away of the diabetes. Well,
Actually,
rest in
he
peace, Carl Johnson.
He's
He
alive.
loved good work. Huh?
Reginald Bell Johnson, not Carl Johnson.
did I say?
He's alive. You said Carl Johnson.
Oh.
Oh.
Carl Johnson. Well, interesting stuff. There is a new pope, as we mentioned. We should mention that again. It's a big deal. There was not a new pope when we put together tonight's news segment upcoming. But there is a new pope.
We were talking the other day about doing a whole bit about who potentially could be the pope on this particular episode.
We were
talking about it. We were talking about it like, hey, we should do a thing talking about the pope and who's going to be.
I don't remember consenting to such a thing.
It was celebrity popes, something like that.
No, that was you.
I'm saying that we were going to do.
And I said was I disavow this.
Point is, we were going to do something, or I was going to do something. I don't know.
This was some.
I can't do my AI popes anymore.
Catholicism you were trying to.
Did you know, like my most my biggest posts, like of all time, have been those AI popes? Like,
no, that's not true, Stephen. Even I know better than that, because the one that got you the 6,000 followers you have now happened some years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, and it was about. I don't remember, but I distinctly remember that there was an event based around College Pop.
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob.
So it was this. So the big one that I did, the biggest one that I had, was years ago. I made this SpongeBob meme where it was like, it's like Catholics don't care about, or only care about babies before they're born, right? And then
for our audience that doesn't know, Stephen is a Catholic, so
right. So and then there's this meme of a SpongeBob like pulling stuff out of to showcase where diapers are hidden or something like that. It was like SpongeBob and Patrick, and he's just pointing to a bunch of different things. Anyway, it was talking about all the different things that Catholics, or all the different organizations that Catholics do to help people after birth, after the baby is born. I know you're falling asleep. I get it. Oh. Anyway, that went.
That's great.
That went mega viral, and I
and it was the worst thing that ever happened. But I got a lot of followers out of that.
Yeah, that's what happened. I remember
Right.
that. I didn't remember the content, but I remember.
Right, but it was actually one of the celebrity or priest types stole that. It, like took a
Timoteo.
screen.
I'm doing fine, except that I'm afraid now that Stephen is launching into several diatribes of which I will have zero interest. But if that does not occur, I'm wonderful. Thank you for asking. Oh, I forgot to take it off.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm surviving. I mean, my wife dosed me.
Stephen doesn't feel good. He does not feel well. Less and fewer are for different applications. Less is when water is in a glass, and fewer is when there are less numbers of something. Oh, damn, I did it. Fewer is when there is fewer numbers of an items. Fewer marbles.
Fewer are things you can count, and less is for things you can't.
Well, I can count water.
It's for nebulous quantity. It's like it's more liquid quantities.
But nebulous, you can count the nebulae. So
it's like, well, so you said like there are 3 less people here. That means like 3 people without legs because they are less people.
That's insulting. That would be an insult.
I'm just saying, like that's because they're like somebody who is a less.
A Webster possesses lesser height than a regular person. And if there were 4 Websters and you killed one of them, you would have fewer Websters. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I try to drill this into my head because I still mix it up sometimes. Should we do the news, Steve?
Let's do the news.
And now, all the cultural news you need. Stephen, are you prepared with the first?
I am prepared.
Okay.
Start talking. I put up an image.
Okay. Warner Brothers has publicly confirmed that despite the backlash to her involvement, franchise creator J.K. Rowling will remain a welcome member of the Harry Potter HBO series' production team. They're making an HBO version of the Harry Potter for some reason. Warner Brothers released a statement saying J.K. Rowling has a right to express her personal views. We will remain focused on the development of the new series, which will only benefit from her involvement. On the other side of the debate, following a ruling in the UK which states that a woman is defined biologically, activists were angry that Rowling had countered their spell of sexus begonis.
That's good.
Next. In the latest plot rumor regarding James Gunn's upcoming Superman film, it is reported that Superman is frustrated by social media backlash when the hashtag super S word begins trending. Apparently, this is the result of Lex Luthor employing a secret weapon in the form of an army of mutant monkeys, this is true, sitting at keyboards and spamming the internet with the hashtag. Eventually, the plan backfires when Jimmy Olsen finds all of the monkeys' old pedophilic tweets. You hate
poor James Gunn.
You hate to hear that about a monkey. Stephen, do you have the other?
Up.
Too easy. Okay. President Trump and Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney met in the Oval Office on Tuesday. This meeting was expected to be a tense one, following Trump's repeated statements about making Canada the U.S.'s 51st state. Carney told Trump plainly that Canada is not for sale, but if Trump could land 3 rings on the milk bottles, he could pick any province from the top row.
Nice.
Pepa Esidu, who was set to play Severus Snape in the aforementioned upcoming television adaptation for HBO of the Harry Potter series, is among more than 400 TV and film professionals who have signed an open letter pledging solidarity with the trans community. When asked, J.K. Rowling said, "I wouldn't fire Papa Esidu from HBO's Harry Potter for supporting trans rights, but instead, I would fire him because I can't pronounce his stupid name." Further, Rowling said she would fully support Esidu transitioning to a name that's in English. It has been announced that Leonardo DiCaprio's Appian Way Productions, that may be Appian, will distribute the new documentary Checkpoint Zoo about zookeepers and volunteers who risked their lives to save thousands of animals trapped in a zoo behind enemy lines during the initial days of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Director Joshua Zeman said, quote, watching these men and women dodging bombs while carrying a lion to safety, it restores your faith in humanity, close quote, and, quote, the fact that they weren't even slowed down by stepping over the dead women and children along the way makes it even more impressive.
Wow. I'm not sure that I would carry a lion to safety.
I don't know that you
Personally.
could carry a lion. It would have to be a cub, certainly.
I mean, probably not a full-grown lion.
No, it'd have to be a cub for sure. Well, it's all propaganda. I mean, allegedly, supposedly. Who knows, Stephen, what goes on? And finally, Rust, the long anticipated Alec Baldwin Western, has finally released, and the reviews are streaming in. Matt Zoller Seitz at RogerEbert.com says there are a few scenes that feel as complete as a good short film, close quote. Roger Abel at the LA Times says, quote, there's an elegant severity to the natural elements that share the frame with the movie's characters, close quote. And Brian Truitt at USA Today says, quote, between the film's strong opening and the bloody climax, Rust moses along with subplots, side characters, and various threats to Lucas and Harlan's well-being. Baldwin immersed himself so deeply in his performance, you'd almost think he shot a few people in cold blood as preparation.
Nice.
And folks, that's the news for this week. All the cultural commentary you need here on Good Night, everybody. Thank you. Stephen, anything to add about any of these important
Well,
stories?
I'm gonna see if any of these things would work as a new segment ending. Yeah, we're gonna go with it.
Sure. Oh, wonderful.
Okay, that's good.
Oh, what was that?
That works better. We
that's-
we should bookend with this song.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Keep the energy going. We should play the other one maybe during the reading. And then this is how we end.
It'd be a lot better if I had hair.
Well,
Then I
I have
could-
some, and it doesn't make a difference.
Well, I mean, if I had like,
Oh, you were supposed to get the wig for this episode.
I did not, I was not, and
forgot.
I will not get a wig.
You just get a wig and we talked about this.
Yes, we talked about how I don't want to wear a wig.
And our guest said, great idea. Who was that? Great
Patrick
idea.
Coffin.
Yeah, well, that's your friend. He said, do it.
Patrick Coffin says a lot of things, and I appreciate
I don't know
him.
what that means.
I'm not going to get a wig.
I have no idea what that's supposed to mean.
But he says a lot. Some people say things. They talk and they say.
Oh boy,
Stuff.
you're digging it deeper, aren't you? All right, keep going. I'm here for this. Go ahead.
I'm
Continue.
gonna sit here with my pipe.
Mm-hmm. You're done
We gotta
talking
get-
about him?
We got to get an affiliate link with these guys.
Who guys?
The Catholic Pipe Company. He
Oh,
comes
that
on
would
our
be
show.
wonderful. Yes, we should. Well,
He
it's
said
not up
that-
to me, is it?
Yeah, he said he would do a thing. It's just we got to contact him. We got to remember.
Well, you talk
I-
to him every day.
I know, but that's because we're buds and not just because of affiliate links.
Will you parlay the budship into a physical relationship? No, that's not what I meant.
No, because then,
Into
but
a,
that's a marijuana reference.
business
I don't do
relationship.
that.
no, that's like harder drugs. Going to the bridge. So
I'm not gonna. But he makes good pipes, and I've
That's
got
the
so many
song.
of them over here. I'm gonna have to take them with me to my
how many do you
trip
have?
next week. I've got
Yeah, where are you going?
four.
You are going to the furry
going-
convention,
No, it's a work
which we talked
convention
about before.
in Atlanta.
Now, you never answered me the last time we talked about this. I tried to get to, because I don't know. I'm very ignorant of these things. I said, is it called a costume? Or I heard someone refer to it as your fur dentity, which is
No, that's-
more correct.
I don't.
And is this
I
what the
don't know.
term hair suit means? It's a hair suit, a hairy
Mhm.
suit.
Sometimes we should wear a hair shirt, and that's a Catholic thing.
So you wear no pants. I've heard about these things. They're very debauched. So what you're telling me is once you're in the convention, everyone takes off their pants
It's not a thing.
and they just wear the shirt.
No, that's not.
But what
That's
about the
not where I'm
helmet?
going.
Is it a helmet? It's not a mask.
I don't do.
The mask is just on
I
the
had-
front. This is a whole
I-
construction of looks
I
like.
am not-
What does yours look like?
I'm
Is
not
it
a furry.
Is it a particular animal? Or is it just like a fantasy?
No, none of the above.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. What kind of? I don't know the terminology.
I don't do that thing. I'm going to a work convention in
Right.
Atlanta.
You are a
No,
professional furry, not just an amateur.
No, it's not a
How do you make money as? Well, maybe I don't want to know.
No, I
Is it
don't.
something we could talk about? How you make money as a furry?
I'm not a
or-
furry, so I
You don't talk
couldn't
about that?
tell you. I don't talk
Oh,
about
is
it. I
that
don't-
is that a derogatory term? What's the real? Steven, I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to be inclusive, as always. What is the? Just tell me what is the proper term. I don't want to offend anyone.
we
Goodness
are gonna
gracious.
get like we're just gonna get so many people who are going to get the complete wrong idea about the show from this.
Well, I'm
like,
trying
30
to clear it
seconds.
up.
No, I mean I am not, and I am not, and I don't.
Is it animal sympathetic? Is
Don't
it
think-
for sexual? I'm trying to guess. Just
Yeah, I'm not the right person to ask because I have no idea.
okay. All right. Keep your
It's
secrets.
not my thing.
Fine.
It's not my
Is it
thing.
like a Freemason thing? Like no knowledge outside of the
I don't know
when you're
because
in
I
the-
don't.
when you're getting the static electricity's rubbing and building up from all the
No.
fur frictions happening and you're bound together just haunch to haunch. Oh, I got a good idea. Hey, maybe we could patent this. So it's a pipe, like a tube, I mean, not a pipe like the pipe. And
Okay.
it runs up your leg there
No, I don't like where this is going.
to your mouth. And then from the back underneath, there's like a carafe or whatever filled with water because it's got to get hot in there.
I'm pretty
Especially when
sure that they
Activities
already
get done.
they already have stuff like that.
Well,
for,
they have
like-
the golf club that you pee in, but that's different. This is the opposite direction. We wanna
No,
go.
you've got all sorts of like joggers have that, and hikers have that where they have like a bag full of water, and there's
Oh,
it's
that's
like a
true.
part of it. It's a sack. that's
Well, I
full of
didn't think it
water.
was. I didn't think it was quite like that because I remember watching a video. Some Redditor, I believe, may have been 4chan. He was planning to siphon the entirety of a limited edition Mountain Dew flavor that was only available at I believe Taco Bell into his tank of a backpack somehow, and he had to rig up his whole thing to do it.
Hmm.
Are you familiar with this?
No, but I can figure how one would
I think
do that.
Internet Historian did an episode on it, somebody like that.
Because
But,
all you would really need to do is like put a tube that would go to the backpack and
Now-
then in the bottom of a cup.
Do you need to restrain yourself to eating and drinking only the things which your creature would eat in reality?
I don't have that.
Like-
it's not a
Like,
thing I do.
or can you drink whatever you want? Is this because it's anthropomorphic? Oh, I'm gone. Where did I go? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you disappeared.
No, my camera. Did
Honest-
thing.
Honestly, it's
I
an
will-
improvement.
I will fix this somehow.
I
but
just
in the
noticed the
meantime-
reflection in the table. It's kind of neat.
Where?
The reflection in the table.
Oh yes, on the thing.
It's-
This has been happening. I apologize to our audience for this. We
Okay.
almost made it to the end of the episode without.
I'm pretty sure that they prefer this, man. Like maybe they want a radio show, right? And like in a
I've
radio
done that.
show,
It turns out they don't. I
Do
used
you-
to do. I did both a radio show and a audio only podcast.
I-
Oh, there we go.
I like the idea of a radio show. I don't like when podcasts. I prefer to listen to them than watch them.
Well, this is a talk show, Steven. It's not a podcast.
I'm just saying, like generally, I like, and
I
I
had
actually
floated the idea to you of doing like a old timey radio shows, especially in regards to like skits and things. This is inside baseball. We don't need to-
I like that idea.
yeah.
regardless of
doing
what I
something.
may have said.
We may be doing
Look,
something like that.
I have taken some migraine medicine and then these antihistamine tablets, so I may not be thinking straight, but I like
Steven,
the idea.
it's not worth it. We all like you. Don't
I took
do that. Don't mix these things.
two
Your
antihistamines.
life is too important. How bad could this Pope be, Steven? It's gonna be all right.
You know, a lot of people say
You don't
are
have to eat
worried.
the pizza.
Are you worried about this Pope? I'm not worried about him. I tell you why I'm
There's
not
no
worried
point in
about him.
worrying about anything, is there?
I tell you why I'm not worried about this Pope. Or any
Okay,
Pope.
go ahead.
Really.
Is this gonna be quick?
It's gonna be quick.
Okay, because
Okay.
you're sick
Yes.
and you're about to die probably from mixing drugs.
There's nothing.
Get in your fursuit and sweat it out of your pores.
I don't have one. I have a beekeeper suit, but that's different.
Oh, they let you do that? Oh, and do you like chase? Oh, I see. So there's like a lot of little minxes dressed up as bees, and here comes beekeeper Steve.
I have a beekeeper.
Chase him come to my hive.
I live on a farm, and sometimes
Right?
there
I'm
are
gonna
bees
milk
and
you.
wasps.
Oh, you don't
No.
milk a bee.
No, stop. This is the reason why I'm not worried about this Pope or any Pope is because no matter what the Pope
most of them are
says,
dead.
yes.
So you don't have to worry about them, unless you're gonna get some more damn ghosts in your house.
Don't get me
Ghost
started
Pope.
on the ghosts.
Oh, that would be a great. Oh, listen, here's a great idea for
TV
a
show.
sitcom. Ghost Pope.
Ghost Pope. Yes, that. Anyway.
Oh, let's work on that. Ghost Pope. This is great. You are
Ghost
singularly
Pope.
qualified to write this, being that you're a Catholic and you tell me every 5 minutes. Ghost Pope.
Ghost
Ooh.
Pope.
Did you buy all your indulgences? Ooh, I'm Ghost Pope. What are you
Anyway.
saying? Something about an onion.
There are no. I wore an onion on my belt, which was the style at the time.
Right.
I went over to Ogdenville, which in those days was what they called Shelbyville.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was wearing an onion on my belt, which was a style at the time. You couldn't get we had to wear the yellow ones because you couldn't get any of the white ones because of the Kaiser. So as I was saying, I had an onion on my anyway. No, the reason why you don't have to worry about any particular Pope is that no matter what they say or do, they're not going to stop you from.
You are a Catholic, and you
no
are
matter
under
what
the
they say,
the thumb of the papal office, the great holy thumb will come down on your shiny head and
they can't stop you from living a holy life. That's all I'm saying. Like they might like allow for other bad things to happen, but they can't. That's like it's not like the Pope is going to show up and force me to do something.
What if he sent the Swiss Guard with a cucumber and he held you? You know,
that's not my sin. That'd be the Swiss Guard sin for trying to hurt me with a cucumber.
Well, you don't know how you'd react to it.
I hope to never find out.
Well, I hope so too.
But in any case,
you know,
I'm not afraid. I am not afraid of the Pope. Who's afraid of the big bad Pope? The big bad Pope.
There's that Pope that sounded like Dracula. He said that, which is an odd oxymoronic kind of thing. Because if you close your eyes, it's Dracula telling you, "Be not afraid." So like, whoa, am I going to be afraid or not afraid? Dracula telling me.
Well, that's the same thing that
with his
all the
hypnotic eyes.
All the angels that show up in the Bible are like, "Be not afraid." And
yeah, same kind of thing. It's like this, sir. This is the scariest moment of my life.
I think it's funny to think that like just like picturing the most terrifying, like the angel has to look terrifying for the first thing that it says to any person that it comes upon. It's like, "Be not afraid." Like, what? How? How am I supposed to be not afraid? You're literally on fire and you've got 6 eyes and you're like discs floating around. I don't know what to do. Don't be afraid.
Okay. There's a very large woman that works at the Walmart that has
Does
told
she
me
also shout, "Be not afraid"?
Yeah, because I ring. Sometimes you get a ring for help at something doesn't scan, and there she comes.
Be not afraid.
Yeah. I'm here to help. I am your friend Lucretia. I am here to help you.
Nobody out Pizza's the Hut.
Mm.
But I don't think the angels say that though as often.
Probably not. So did you did not tell me if you had any commentary on our big news stories?
Ooh. Yeah, I didn't tell you that.
No? Nothing?
No.
All right.
No. I mean, we talked about the animals and trapped in a zoo behind enemy lines. I wouldn't carry a lion.
Yeah, we couldn't. Lions are heavy.
They
This didn't
are.
happen.
Didn't happen.
I'm putting my money in my mouth and saying this didn't happen. But if I did, it would sound like this.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You know, I was thinking about something earlier today, because someone was posting about how you need to keep at least some of your assets liquid, and I was just
Oh
thinking
no,
like,
no, Steven, don't. No, I don't want to hear this.
I was just thinking that like,
No.
it's got to be difficult because you're gonna melt down all your coins,
Okay.
and then how do you spend that?
It's
Like,
almost
what
time
place
to
takes?
wrap up the show. I think.
Yeah,
with
no,
that.
that's
Yeah.
probably for the best.
You obviously your fever has peaked, and you're gonna go sweat it out in your furry suit.
No furry suit.
All right. Well, thank you to everyone who has not watched this, and if you have watched, we're sorry. This has been good night, everybody. Oh, this is good. I like this. Okay. And next week, Steven will not be here, but we will have a artist roundtable. It's going to be a serious episode of the show. I can be serious with artists talking about art stuff. Tune in. In the meantime, good night, everybody.
I also can't